rah-rah kind of guy himself. You know, he don't like to articulate it. You know, when I first met this cat, man, I thought he was one of them ring fighters. You know, them fighters in the cage. You know, I was saying, this look like a cage fighter here. You know, because we was on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't see the art, but then I found that he was from Jersey. And I said, hey, there's something here, boy. This is going crazy. So I had to meet this brother. Hey, man, you throwing a hell of a show.
Oh,
Talk a little bit about yourself, man. Who is this man sitting here at this mic?
I'm Derek Franklin. I'm from Converge 45. I'm not actually from Jersey. I was just there for a while.
Well, see that? You know, here you just broke my bubble, but that's all right.
I know. I'm from Oregon.
Right on. Right on.
You know, I'll get on the microphone for another Scarlet Night.
Yeah. Hey, man, so tell me,
Yeah.
how this all come about, Derek? I mean, really, it's an exciting ordeal. I mean, you're touching on some topics that are big.
Yeah.
And, man, you're igniting. You got some things going on here, man. So tell me a little bit about it. How did it come into to bear? What brought this all into existence? And tell me about how you arrived here with this
Yeah. So
symposium.
before I was with Converge 45 in 2021, Mac McFarlane and Jess Perlitz, artists and curators from the region. Mac was then the artistic director at Converge 45. And they put together the Portland Monuments and Memorials Project as a time to be fluid and responsive to the community after the monuments came down in the city, and really started to ask the community and artists in the community what are possible ways, different types of prototypes, for instance, to the way art could serve our community better.
Yeah.
Specifically in the monument space.
Wow.
And then when the city started to say, okay, what are we going to do? And got to become part of this nationwide melon project, they asked Converge to come back into the fold and try to kick this thing off to start conversations in the community and see what the community wanted.
Yeah.
And you know, as an organization, we can only hold ourselves accountable to our part, which is starting these conversations,
Yeah, man.
bringing people into stardom, and you know, putting it on record.
Yeah, man. It's a class act too. I mean, you know, your platforms, your breakout class, all that. So is it turning out to some degree the way you sort of designed it in its thought, or you know, or is it floundering? You know,
I think it's working out the way we hoped it to work out. We have
good, yeah.
exciting people from the community, artists, curators, people from outside the community coming in to inspire the audience and start those conversations, and then giving them space to have them within their own communities.
So what are some of the unique or distinct things that you might have heard today, Derek, that sort of put a gleam in your ear or made your mind start to spin a little bit? I mean, was there some topics and things that you might have heard in the classes, in the breakout sessions that resonate with a thought or desire, or it's just what's going on in your head right now, man?
Well, I think there's exciting things being brought up around what we can do to think about the future of us as humans. And how
that's
right?
a good
Because that's
conversation.
like a big
that's
a
I thought
big
Maslow and them guys was having that kind of conversation at one point.
yeah. And I think that you know, how can these things can an object serve for the future?
Interesting.
Right? And I think there's another question that is, can an object bear witness to the suffering of others?
That's some
Right.
deep shit there, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, there's something amazing that happens when you get a bunch of creative people, whether they think they're artists or not.
Yeah.
They're creative, they're innovative,
Yeah, man.
and they inspire us to think about the world in different ways.
Man.
And it's important for not only innovation and the future generations, but it's also important for the wellness of our communities, right?
Derek, what inspires you, man? You seem like you're containing a lot of combustion, man. I mean, you got a lot of bandwidth in there that you see some stuff. What inspires you, man?
You know, I think what inspires me is when people think of new models that we haven't even seen out there, and not like changing the whole world, right? I think people get caught up in this, let's change the entire world
the bigness,
at one point, but sometimes it really comes down to like, what can you do in your 5-block radius? What can you do to show other people that this is possible, a different life is possible, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Scappoose, which is like really small.
Yeah, small town.
And I somehow, through community college and other things, became an artist. But I never even knew what an artist. I mean, I knew what an artist was, but I hadn't seen one. Right? It was like a thing that was magic somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of places in this world where we just need models for certain ways of living, certain possibilities of life, certain, I mean, I guess sometimes we call those role models, right?
Yeah.
Or something, but also you got to have somebody around that says this is possible to be.
Yeah, so you one of them peaceful warrior types.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to move the needle, yeah. Well, hey, man, I mean, some people, you know, there's accelerants and there's combustion, there's all kinds of, there's recipients, there's all kinds of positions to play, right? And so in this one, man, we definitely need agitators and people who can really ignite some shit and get some shit moving. Yeah. And I appreciate you taking that on, man. I mean, because it is a big issue, you know, and I think that you're right about these things having a life to some degree. They can either have a life of their own or they are a life of their own, you know, meaning that sometimes somebody or something is driving it, you know, an agenda, so to speak, you know.
Yeah.
So, but hey, man, Derek, listen, I know it's been a long day for you, bud.
Oh, I'm good.
You know, man, you sure? So, hey, if there's anything you want to say that I might have missed or a question that I might have not asked you, what would you say to our listeners, man, as we conclude this day of the symposium? That's been a real interesting and really reflective experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to be reflective, it's also to be curious.
Yeah.
Right? And when we're curious and we're open, it alleviates a lot of those fear, hiding, not wanting to engage with each other.
Yeah.
And if we're just curious and inquisitive about other people, we get to know a lot more about what's going on in the world around us.
Hey, amen, my brother. It's called pay attention.
It's called pay attention.
You know,
yes.
You know, I tell my kids this every day. Yeah, and I'm trying to tell you. I said, don't you leave this house without paying attention, girl. Yeah. Hey, Derek, it's a pleasure having you tonight.
It's always a pleasure.
Hey, bro, and we've had a really great time at the symposium today, man. And hey, we look forward to seeing what it do tomorrow. What it do tomorrow. You hear?
Yes.
So, hey, man, respect to you, and we
Thank you
appreciate
for having me.
Yeah, man. Keep the work up. Yeah.
Yeah.